The late and great Elaine Locke said there is nothing more galvanizing than a cultural past. In my opinion, there's nothing more galvanizing than using a cultural past to create a cultural future. Welcome to today's edition of Black Study Snacks. We are going to be focusing in on Afrofuturism. What is it as a concept? How might you have already engaged with it, and how can we use it moving forward to create an amazing future for the Black community? My name is Devon Travell, and this is Black Study Snacks. We give you bite-sized knowledge for hungry, melanated minds.
Black magic, black ones, mathematics. Black funds, black's classic, black's fun, we get blacker in the sun.
All right, so as usual, we want to start off with the basics. All right, we're going to start off with what is Afrofuturism. And while in my opinion and a lot of opinion of Black history and Black studies professionals, the term or the concept of Afrofuturism dates back to probably 1920 when we talk about the Harlem Renaissance and the new Negro movement, but it was officially coined in 1993 by Mark Deary. And he is a social critic and an intellectual critic, and he brought together a group of amazing Afrofuturists to do this panel. This panel was called Black to the Future. It had Samuel Delaney, it had Greg Tate, it had Trisha Rose on it, and in that they talked about their own experience as an artist and a contributor to Afrofuturism, but also on this new term and this new genre as a whole. So, definition, right? And this is the dictionary definition. Afrofuturism is a cultural aesthetic, philosophy of science, and philosophy of history that explores the developing intersection of African diaspora culture with technology. Right? So that is the textbook answer. Now, in my opinion, and in a lot of opinion of a lot of more modern Afrofuturists, that definition is missing a key piece. What do you think that key piece is? All right, I'll take a nice little pause, see if y'all got it. Go ahead and put it in the comments or in the discussion below. What do you think is missing from that definition? Now, in my opinion, and a lot of other modern thinkers, it's missing the social justice aspect of it, right? It's missing the agency or the power shift aspect that Afrofuturism has. So Afrofuturism also creates an alternative look at the future and even history through a Afrocentric lens. It expresses a shift in the narrative power, right? So again, when we talk about the Harlem Renaissance, right, and before in the Harlem Renaissance, right, before the 1920s, during the 1800s, 1700s, the narrative power of the African American didn't belong to us. It didn't belong to them, right? It belonged to the people who had power, who could write, who could create art, who could create movies based on stereotypes and what they saw as the Negro identity. But the amazing power of the Harlem Renaissance, and why it's probably one of my favorite time periods of all time, is for the first time in a large way, the African American, our ancestors, were able to now really take ownership over what content is being created through their image and what image is being portrayed out there, right? So we get amazing painters, writers, poets, musicians, sorry, let me not make up words here, musicians, right? And other people that are now able to create what the Negro looks like, and that was the new Negro movement. In my opinion, Afrofuturism does a very similar thing. It gives you, as an artist, whether you're African American or you're an ally, it gives you the power to create an image, whether it's in the past or in the future, of a Afrocentric character who, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but who follows some of those elements of what Afrofuturism is. Okay, so that is the introduction, the very bare bone basics of what Afrofuturism is. One more time, the dictionary definition: Afrofuturism is a cultural aesthetic, philosophy of science, and philosophy of history that explores the developing intersection between the African diaspora with technology. And again, if you want to to spruce it up a little bit, to remix it, all you would do is really add a layer of social justice and a aspect of power, an aspect of agency within using Afrofuturism in your stories. Thanks for watching.